deep in the green heart of the Amazon jungle, where sunlight breaks through the canopy in trembling shards of gold and the air hangs heavy with the breath of a million unseen creatures. A silent storm was building beneath the slow-moving waters of the Black River. The Amazon, ancient and patient, kept its secrets tucked under floating leaves, sunken logs, and swirling sediment that had traveled centuries through serpentine waterways. Here, beneath the surface, something massive stirred. A shape thick as an oil barrel and longer than the trunk of fallen ceiba tree drifted with the current, an emerald and obsidian shadow that seemed to melt into the water itself. This was a giant green anaconda, the apex serpent whose silent reign stretched across generations. Every creature that dipped its feet or snout into this water carried an instinctive fear carved into its blood. For the anaconda hunted not with speed, but with the slow, ancient patience of the jungle itself. On the muddy banks nearby, capybaras barked and scurried. Macaws screeched above as if warning the forest that the predator was awake again. But the anaconda was not interested in small prey today. Hunger had been gnawing at its massive belly for weeks, and the serpent needed something worthy of its size, something powerful enough to fuel it for months. The river hides giants, and the anaconda knew exactly where to find them. Its tongue flicked, tasting vibrations and chemical signals carried to the water, guiding it to a quiet lagoon cloaked in tangled vines and floating lilies. Here, the river slowed into a silent pool, a perfect ambush zone. The serpent sank deeper, coiling its body along the silt like a living root system, each muscle primed with lethal strength. Not far from this lagoon, a black caiman, a crocodile rivaling the anaconda in power, lay half-submerged, its armored body glinting under shafts of fading daylight. The caiman was old, battle-scarred, and feared by nearly everything that roamed the river. But even the caiman, with its bone-crushing jaws and explosive power, sensed something unnatural. Something watching, something waiting. It grunted softly, blowing bubbles as its snout dipped back into the water. But the river carried no wind, no ripple, no warning. Only stillness. Because the anaconda no longer needed to approach. It was already there, already positioned between the caiman and the safety of deeper waters. Slowly, impossibly slowly, the serpent began to rise. A massive head broke through the weeds, eyes like polished amber stones fixed on the reptile ahead. The caiman snapped instinctively, water exploding around its jaws as it lunged, but the anaconda had already moved, its body surging forward with ancient power. It struck not with fangs, though they were long enough to draw blood, but with its body, slamming against the caiman's flank like a falling tree trunk. In an instant, the serpent's coils wrapped around the crocodile's torso, then its neck, then its tail, each loop tightening with the force of hydraulic press. The caiman roared underwater, the sound muffled into a vibrating growl, kicking and thrashing violently. Mud shot into clouds, water churned into chaos. Fish scattered in frantic bursts of silver. But the serpent only tightened further. Every movement the caiman made sealed its fate, because the anaconda's strategy was not a chase, but to wait for panic. And panic always came. The serpent's coils condensed. Bones began to crack with muffled snaps that echoed through the anaconda's immense frame. The caiman thrashed less, then even less, until its tail twitched weakly and finally fell limp. Only then, once life had left its prey, did the serpent loosen just enough to maneuver its jaw around the caiman's head. Nature bowed to the anaconda's mastery. Joints unhinged, muscles stretched, and the serpent began the slow, methodical process of swallowing a predator that many believed unkillable. In the Amazon, death and dominance were as constant as the river's flow. And tonight, the lagoon had witnessed the first chapter of the anaconda's deadly feast. Hours passed, and the dense Amazon night settled like a velvet shroud over the jungle. The moonlight flickered through restless leaves, as if even the sky was wary of what lurked beneath the surface. The caiman was gone now, swallowed whole, its massive body slowly slipping to the anaconda's swollen torso. But the forest predators were always listening, always watching. The kill had not gone unnoticed. A shadow padded silently through the underbrush, a creature equally feared, equally powerful. The Amazonian jaguar, the king of the rainforest floor, emerged from a thicket of heliconia leaves, its rosette-patterned coat gleaming in slivers of moonlight. Jaguars were known for their unmatched bite strength, able to pierce skulls and shells, and unlike most big cats, they swam effortlessly. Tonight, the scent of blood, reptile musk, and disturbed mud led this jaguar to the lagoon's edge. The jaguar lowered its head, whiskers twitching, nostrils flaring. It could smell something enormous nearby, something still alive but weakened. The caiman was gone. Its scent faded into the water, but another presence lingered. The feline's golden eyes scanned the water's surface, looking for movement. Normally, a jaguar would avoid a fully alert anaconda, but tonight the serpent was partially immobilized, its body distended, its mobility reduced. To the jaguar, this was opportunity, a once-in-a-lifetime chance to take down the Amazon's largest serpent and secure a feast worthy of a king. But the jaguar did not know that the anaconda, even swollen and slow, was still far deadlier than any creature on land or water. The anaconda sensed the jaguar's presence before it saw it. Vibrations, footsteps, a soft rustle of leaves. The serpent's instincts, honed through centuries of evolution, flared instantly. It halted its digestion, slowed its breathing, and sank slightly deeper into the water. Its body went still, deathly still. To the jaguar, the water appeared calm, unthreatening. But calm waters in the Amazon were often the camouflage of killers. The jaguar crouched low, muscles rippling beneath its sleek coat. Its tail twitched as it prepared to leap. The water did not move. Not a ripple, not a tremble. And then, too late, it happened. The surface erupted. A massive coil exploded upward with the force of a striking python, but magnified tenfold. Water sprayed in all directions as the anaconda launched itself from below, wrapping its thick, muscular body around the jaguar's midsection before the cat's claws even hit the water. The jaguar roared, a sound that shook the trees, its claws slashing wildly at the serpent's scales. Deep gashes opened. Blood spilled. But the anaconda tightened regardless. Its strength was not in sharpness, but in pressure. Slow, compressing, unstoppable pressure. The jaguar attempted to bite the serpent, try to reach its vulnerable neck, but the coils constricted so tightly that the cat's movements became restricted, its lungs compressed. The jungle fell silent. Frogs paused mid-croak. Birds froze on branches. Even the wind held its breath as the battle unfolded, a clash between two apex predators whose ancestors had been rivals for millennia. The jaguar thrashed violently, its hind legs kicking, claws ripping into the serpent's skin with desperate fury. But every motion only caused the serpent to tighten further. The jaguar's breathing became shallow, then strained, then ragged. Its roars faded into low grunts, then muffled gasps. Finally, the cat's body slackened, its paws slipping underwater. The serpent held it a moment longer, ensuring all resistance had vanished, before slowly releasing its grip. Tonight, the jungle had witnessed the unthinkable. A giant anaconda overpowering a jaguar at full strength. The serpent, exhausted but victorious, began its slow work once more, stretching its jaws, positioning the jaguar's head, and preparing for yet another feast. Two apex predators in one night. A kill that would fuel legends whispered through the canopy for generations.